Good evening, folks. Reloading Bench back with you once again. And you may remember these. These are my blank cartridge die set that will do 22 to 45 caliber. And I don't keep these in a turret because I don't really use a lot of blanks. So not a big reason to put those in. But what I will say is, and I'm curious why I didn't screw those down. That's interesting. So what I'm going to do is, because I had these adjusted, but I wonder why I didn't lock those down. In any case, these were my samples. This is the good one. This is not. You can see the difference in the pedals. That's the final. So this would be the here, and that would be the final. But in any case, somebody asked, have I taken them? Well, he didn't say to the range. I'm assuming he didn't. They didn't say to the range. They said, have you fired any of your blanks? And I thought, no, I haven't. But that would be a darn good idea to make a handful of these. So I will. Maybe make that many. That was a fistful of grab. We'll set these up on the turret. And we'll make some blanks, which is not ammo, YouTube. It is blanks. So we'll make some blanks. I think I'll form them and then put the primers in last, because if I mess up the brass, I don't want to mess it up with primers in it, because trying to get a primer out of that means I have to peel that open. So let me set these up, and we'll make some blank rounds. All right, remember, YouTube, this is not bullet manufacturing. This is shaping brass. So we've got these set, and we will do what I would call the pedals first. Again, oopsie. Let's rewind that. And we are back. So we have taken, there's a total of 10 here. They're all deprimed. And we will start to form them, because these are all set correctly now. Add a little Imperial wax. That gives us our, what I'm going to call our beautiful petals. Very straight. And then we'll crown that a little bit. Again, this is not ammo. We are not making ammo. Again. These are carbide dies, but I'm still going to use the Imperial wax because there's a lot of pressure there to make that shape. And this is by far my favorite lubricant for brass. Hands down, total winner. Ooh, looks like the little Sharpie Sharps got me. Didn't even feel that. All right, so now we will take these. We're done with that. And we will, for lack of a better term, I'm just going to call this crowning them. I don't remember what the instructions called it, but that seals the deal. And again, those are beautiful petals. No, probably helps because I've got wax. If I lock that in. And I will probably tumble these, or at least at a minimum wipe the wax off with a towel. That was a Sharpie sharp. Reloading, always drawing blood one way or another. All right, let me wipe off the wax. Again, quite sharp. And these are now locked in for 45. Let me get that up enough so I can just put that there. And now what we will do, since there are 10, we will hand prime these. One live blank. Feels kind of funny to say that, a live blank. Two. All right, you probably don't want to watch me do the rest of these, so I'll come back. One always flies. I'll be back in a minuet. Just for those wondering, because my math was off, I had 10 primers and 9 blanks. Pulled out another one. This is such a handy tool. I have no idea where that primer went. So, get a smidgen of wax. Whoa. Not paying attention. Isn't that cute? That tells you exactly what that particular die does. That was my finishing die. Not my... yeah, that's somewhere in the garage. All right, now we have a deprimed. Finished blank. All right, there's the 10 blanks and a boo-boo. I'll towel those off and we'll be done. This will be the end of this segment. We now have 10 beautiful blanks, cleaned, ready for a range test. I'll take them to the range with me. I will fire these out of a revolver, because I'd like to see what they look like after fired. How the, there's no powder, only primer. So this should just be a bang. A bang, but I don't know how much that will open up. Again, no powder. Not going to put powder. All right, there's our blanks ready for the range.